We haven't beat Complexity yet. I don't know if they necessarily do anything to beat us. I feel like we just haven't played that well against them. I remember the first game we had like a triple kill bot and a 3 vs 3 play, which was misplay from us and I guess good play from them too.
Lemonation's gonna pick up a retribution kill there, but the kill is there!
I don't think we play as well as we can against Complexity. I don't know whether it's like overconfidence or whatever, but we're definitely going to take them seriously next time we play against them because they've proven they can compete in the LCS. I think going in, teams sort of thought they'd be one of the lower teams, but I think they're proving everyone wrong.
Welcome back to the North American LCS. We are heading right back onto the Rift for Cloud9 versus Complexity. This has been a one-sided matchup with Complexity taking both wins.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but this is a real test for Cloud9. We've talked a lot about Cloud9 improving. They're playing better, they're warding better, they've shown better team play, but Complexity has always been their kryptonite this split. I mean, for some reason, Cloud9 just make so many mistakes against Complexity. They've lost 2 games to Complexity, and they started today 2 games back from first place. So you can do the math there. Right. Cloud9 cannot afford to keep giving up wins if they want to finish in the top spot.
That's right, but Complexity have a lot on the line themselves, and are just 2 games back from a playoff spot.
Yes, Complexity have started the split like the bad news bears of the LCS, so to say. They were playing with nothing to lose, and they would happily try all of these low percentage plays that looked really cool, you know, even if they had a very small chance of getting a win. Right. But now that they've got something to lose, and they fear that they'll be, they will let that early game lead slip away, it's causing them to play much more conservatively, even when they do get an early lead, and it draws these games out, you know, that they could otherwise maybe use that early lead to actually close out. Still, though, they have shown that they can beat anyone in the entire league, and they've had this dogged determination to keep on fighting.
That's right. We'll see how far that determination goes here against Cloud9. So let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, it's them. Cloud9. Balls in the top lane. Meteos in the jungle. High in the mid lane. Sneaky at AD carry. Lemonation on support.
And on the red side, it's Complexity. Up top is West Rice. In the jungle, Kez. Mid Prawley. AD carry Robert X. Lee. And support Bubba Dub.
So do they have what it takes to beat them again? Does it become a mental thing for Cloud9 where they kind of just give Complexity too much and they kind of play everything scared?
Well, now they're definitely going to be focused on this because it was not even just one time that Complexity beat Cloud9. Having beat them 2 times in a row, it actually has caused Cloud9 to focus more on this matchup than they would usually. Like, they put a lot of planning time actually into Complexity. We'll see if it pays off because Complexity actually feel pretty good in this matchup.
We'll see what they have for picks and bans.
Yeah, immediate Tristana ban.
Tristana goes out. These teams, in their plays, it has been 43.5 minutes and 37 minutes. So we should expect to see an over 30-minute game, but it's been Complexity. Both games at 28 minutes, they took out the inhibitor. So they have the consistency there. But after they take out the inhibitor, will it again take 10, 15 minutes to close out the game? It's one thing we're seeing if Complexity can fix. The picks and bans showing that the late game is being taken out. Is that the move to really put a crutch on Complexity if they can't get to that late game?
Well, really, it's just a whole bunch of AD carry bans being taken out here. So more focus in this game, banning out AD carries than any other that we have seen in the last couple weeks. And it's because in the games where Complexity have been beating a lot of the top teams, it often stems from the bottom lane. Robert has gotten multiple pre-10-minute triple kills in the bottom lane when something, either Cloud9 or Dignitas have also made this mistake down in the bottom lane. And Complexity can take that and run with it very quickly. Robert is a guy, once he gets a lead, he roams all over the map. You know, even as the AD carry, they'll happily switch him up to mid lane.
Cloud9 locks in the Lulu for balls in the top lane. Most likely what he's going to try his hand at coming into this one. We've seen a lot of Mundo Rise play from him. Neither banned out here, but they do choose the Lulu.
Corky's still up, Twitch still up. A lot of AD carries just wafting around. Even though there were 3 AD carry bans, not a lot of early priority spent on them. Lulu traded for the Morgana plus Elise. This is a combo that Cloud9 pioneered and loved so much. Complexity going to use it against them, though.
Yep. And Bubba Dub has been loving that Morgana. With the chance to get it in the past 2 games, he'll make it 3 in a row with this selection. It's something they really control the bottom lane with. I think Bubba Dub, more than not, really focuses on that brush control, and he's always hitting dark bindings left and right in that bottom lane to get a bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
Quick pickups coming in for Evelynn. Well, actually, quick pickups, but locked in at the same time there, Evelynn and Jinx for Cloud9.
Now, Morgana's also a really, really safe early pick, especially for this Complexity team, because when Robert does go aggressive, if he gets that early lead, having as many shields to back him up as possible will enable him to make those plays. And with Corki, you really want to be making the early and mid-game plays where you really have a lot of power. Corki still dumps out so much mixed damage in the mid-game that he can really turn the tide of team fights around Dragon especially.
Well, Complexity's looking at a lot of ability power right now across the map.
Yeah, pretty heavy on that, especially since Elise builds have changed with a lot of junglers not liking the switch of the new Ancient Golem and going with the sustain of the Spirit of the Elder Wraith instead, or Spectral Wraith instead. Makes Elise, yes, more squishy, but also she's a strong duelist, just as she always used to be played when she built the Spectral Wraith. And she also has great objective control because it brings back more damage to her and her percentage health scaling abilities with ability power.
Wow. Support Lulu. All right.
Yeah.
Locking in the Syndra and the Nidalee. At least one lane bully, and what a lot of people are considering high priority right now in Nidalee and her control and what she can do, but we haven't seen that result in the LCS.
It's such an interesting matchup here because these are pretty much the 2 premier lane bullies up top now. Yeah. Renekton's probably the only other guy who could even be considered up there to hang with Gragas and Nidalee. It'll be fun to see this play out. This does boil down a lot to not only individual player skill, but also jungler intervention. Because Gragas can actually set up jungle ganks pretty well, even on Nidalee. But with the changes to Nidalee, where she gets Cougar form level 1, it's really hard, even early on, to convert ganks against her.
Orianna's a tough pick here versus Syndra. A lot of tough picks. The Yasuo being banned out, such a great ban that would equalize a little bit of AD and
Probably's classic Yasuo feed strategy.
Yep, but he gets the Ziggs. Not going to be bad, but it does continue to put AP on the side of Complexity.
It's definitely very AP heavy, but this is something Prawl is extremely comfortable on.
Yes.
Probably his favorite champion actually in the game with Ziggs, and one of the best champions in the entire game right now. So much wave clear from Complexity. They can easily, either offensively or defensively, siege up around a turret and clear waves infinitely, but also still have threat because they have the Morgana Elise combo. They'll be killing all the minions very quickly, and they'll have so much space to throw their bindings and their cocoon combos in. They just have to play the waiting game until one of these lands.
Another game of skill shots. Gotta love it, all coming out. Let's pull up the voting on LOLesports.com now to see who's ahead in the poll. And with 70% of the vote, you're saying 3rd time's a charm for Cloud9.
All right, keep sending those votes in to Twitter by sending your hashtag either C9win or COLwin to @LOLesports.
And with that, Ziggs being picked up by Prolly, we were saying, he loves to play it. Has been banned out 3 out of the last 5 games he's played. So getting that is a comfort pick for him. Ones to watch, we were saying, is Wes Rice. So definitely keep an eye on him as he's one of our, not OP5 to watch, but one of those players that hopefully can make an impact. He did start to have a few good solo plays versus Inox, if we can remember from Super Week or last week. But can he continue that play? A lot of Complexity has been growing singularly, but as a team, there's still a few of those mistakes.
Yeah, I think this time around it's going to be very interesting because even though we're so used to seeing Complexity go super late, their team has a lot of mid-game potential for pulling off some big plays here.
Loading onto the Rift. Cloud9 versus Complexity. Final game here in the LCS. Week 9, Day 1. Be sure to stay tuned for the Challenger Series after best of 3. It's always fun and always exciting to watch. We'll see if Cloud9 can get their first win, which would make them quite excited over Complexity here in the summer split.
Yeah, and Cloud9 with the Nidalee top is actually a pretty big change to their play style. Ball's going to be a very strong split pushing force, but you know, unlike Jax, who was the previous top split pushing champion, Nidalee actually starts off very high on her power curve. She has a very strong early game. So Balls is pretty much going to spend the entire game trying to bully Westrice and draw resources from Complexity up to the top lane so that Meteos and the rest of Cloud9 can create plays on the bottom side. If Balls gets a lead up top and pressures Westrice enough, then Cloud9 can gain control of the all-important bottom lane and get those early dragons that they value so highly.
The audible tweets have been activated by the crowd. You can see the favor of Cloud9, 53%. It's going back and forth, though. The tug of war begins on social media to back your team.
Yeah, let's see what Meteos can do on this Evelynn, because you need to take advantage of her passive, get a lot of ward control down early to see where the ganks from Kez are coming from. If left alone, the lanes should be okay, though. See about that bottom lane. I bet Meteos is going to make a pretty early visit bottom. One binding on Jinx can be very, very bad news for this C9 bot combo.
Easy peasy for junglers to start.
So he is starting off on his blue, so he will at least end his route down on the bottom side
route, yep.
if he wants to go for that level 3 double buff. Kez is doing the same thing though, so Meteos will see this. I really like that early ward from Meteos to gain intelligence on where Kez is going to be starting and ending his round. Evelynn does not like to be counter-ganked, especially by Elise, because Evelynn showing up in lane and revealing herself is a very easy target for a full Elise combo. If Elise lands Cocoon onto Eve, then Eve is toast, and there is no coming back from that. So since Meteos knows that Evelynn is, or that Elise is gonna end down bottom, maybe he just hard farms this. It looks like already he's going with a hard farming jungle route here. Ooh. Doesn't want to risk getting counter ganked by Elise.
Right.
And since his bottom lane is pushed in, maybe Kez will waste some time down there, he's thinking. Oh, looks to go head him off.
We'll see what happens. We know Meteos was the one to be vocal about if you have nothing else to do, then you should be in the face of your opponent in their jungle. That's what Kez was trying to do. He puts a ward in, but that ward is a little late for what it wants to see. Meteos is already in position.
Meteos is going to see Kez, though.
Yep.
Oh, now he's forced into it. Kez is on the backside. Oh, he didn't see him into the bush.
Oh, me, oh my. So close. Meteos just squeaks out of that one without giving away his position. So now he kind of has the upper hand here. C9 knows that Kez is floating around the bottom side. Everybody can play a little safer.
All right,
very
so
close,
we did have, as expected, both junglers heading down bottom, but because Kez was able to swing around, Meteos had to abandon the early gank attempt.
The crowd favoring Balls.
Yeah. Oh, wow!
Oh dear! Oh, so close! There's the flip! The swipe! Oh, he takes a bite out of the backside of Westrice.
And the crowd gets what they want here.
Yeah, they do.
Ball's going to do the new Nidalee justice and take advantage of the early game. That was actually just a misstep by Westrice, though.
Look at that. Marking his position in the book before he gets back. He's like, this is mine, my territory. So we'll see if he can continue that. A 1v1. Not something we get to see in the early part of the game, but top lane, Cloud9. Balls makes it happen. He gets the kill onto Westrice.
It always has been the type of game that Balls likes to play, to actually just have isolated 1v1s.
It's like
and
put him back
destroy his enemy. The other thing that's classic, oh, whoa! Brawley gets comboed.
Oh, I go close, the heal, the last hit, the burn! Oh, it's too hot, Brawley goes down.
So Brawley tries to Satchel Charge high into the turret and go for answer damage instead of Satchel Charging himself out of there.
He takes more
and he takes another auto attack, which causes him to die here. Solo laners for Cloud9, each getting their own kills here. That is an amazingly good sign for Cloud9, but really terrible news for Complexity. Meteos hasn't even been a part of either of those kills. It's the best feeling as a jungler when all you have to do is ward up for your solo lanes. And
he's going to want to farm.
They're taking care of their own business here.
But Kobe, there's the flip side of that. Kez is almost in panic mode already seeing this happen to his side. Knowing they have, probably to sit back with Ziggs. I don't know if this is going to be enough. They need to start getting a lead. They're the team that controls the snowball, not coming from behind.
So since the solo lanes, both for Cloud9, are off to a good start, Meteos might try and return bottom here and save this jinx. Because, again, we said, as soon as one of those bindings lands, they're already half health, both these guys. Summoner spells could easily be blown. Probably, though, already burned his heal, so that's where he's going next. You can see the positioning and posturing around the spheres here. It's an interesting little merry-go-round. But Hyde not quite able to pull out the range there of the Syndra stun. You know, interesting little fact about the Syndra stun, if the ball is right next to you, then it doesn't go the full length. It has to be a couple hundred units away from Syndra to actually get the full range on that stun.
Did you learn that in Doombots?
I learned that from Hotshot, actually.
Oh!
History.
There you go.
Hotshot did some testing.
Oh! Bubba Dub, a hook shot over the shoulder, taking Sneaky for a little bit of a 200 HP of his health there after a shot from the Tormented Soil as well. And they have a nice push on the turret. They're at least not letting Sneaky get going here. 53 to 44, he gets knocked out. Has a quick drink with Westrice, but he'll be back for more.
We'll see here. Kez was just up there, but
so is
Meteos. The early ult's got to tip balls off to something, and he calls Meteos up here to back him up. Level 6 Eve. And also High is starting to roam, so Complexity knows something's up. Red buff steal in the process here. It's just outside of the bush. Kez can still see it. Can he find it? He got it! Meteos! That's just lazy, man.
Malarkey.
Come on. Meteos, all you gotta do is step back one more step. He could have had that easily, but he leaves it there. Still in vision. A little bit of laziness does cost him the red buff steal.
See, Kez says thank you very much. Looks like they're gonna go back to their ways. 32 to 32 in that jungle. Kez has boots, but really not anything has been created from the jungler's pathing on either side just yet. 500 gold lead just about in favor of Cloud9. They give High that blue buff in mid lane, which he's actually stayed quite controlled. That still should be harassing out Prolly here a little bit more. They're even in CS as opposed, or just off of that turret wave, High's a little bit stronger.
Yeah, solo lanes for Cloud9 with their minuscule leads, but bottom lane for Complexity sort of answering. So big difference coming from those kills.
I'm surprised.
I like the defensive pink wards here for Cloud9 though. Trying to make sure that there's no action bottom from Kez to really... Uh-oh!
What a trade. You can see just the peace of mind Sneaky had sitting right in the Phosphorus. He's level 6 to level 5. He's out damaging far and beyond Robert Exley right now, and is going to go toe-to-toe easily there. Still leading the charge on this one. Great wards, like you said, from Cloud9, really allowing themselves to push up quite far here as they start to pressure even harder.
Yeah, the key ward there was Lemon's ward in the side bush.
Right. Making
Making sure there's no lane gang from Kez. Kez has not had an impact on this game at all here. He is going with that Sight Stone very early on, as we saw him already do for a couple weeks now on this Elise. But that Sight Stone less effective against Eve. If he wants to make use, he's going to have to venture into Cloud9 territory, which is a dangerous prospect right now for Kez. He's going to have to ward up actually at the camps to get information on Meteos.
It's actually the first time we're seeing, today at least, an Elise not go for that full damage build that we've been seeing. So he'll be a little bit more utility to this AP team that he's combined with.
Korea really loves this Sight Stone build with Elise, but I have to give credit to Kez because he was doing it super early on. He did it, even before they did.
Little hay to the, nobody followed Kez. Kez went on a mission all by himself. They do finally pick up High, but Balls is already teleported down. What a move by him. He had walked back to lane after he reset it. His lane's still in a good spot, and he's down here to help with the dragon now.
Yeah.
The moves.
Drawback there of the Elise going all in with the repel. Meteos sitting there for the counter gank, and it's crowd favorite Balls, who's able to come out on top and take down Dragon.
He's a pleaser. He's a pleaser. See what he can produce here. Did have the flow flash in that as well, so
he's also got
payoff.
blue Balls now.
Oh dear. 10.5 minutes into the game, he's recharged and charging up, and he's going to be in the face of everybody.
I mean, blue buff on the new Nidalee is not as frightening as it was on the old Nidalee, but it's still a very, very, very bad thing for Westrice. He's already behind in the top lane.
Yeah.
There's no way that he can push Balls out of the top lane now. Nidalee maxing that heal first in lane will have enough sustain to keep pressure up in the top.
Dead even in that mid lane as they break the dead evenness. 88 to 89 now. Just 2K gold lead in favor of Cloud9. That's something that Complexity can close easily if they get the fight they want. Probably sitting with 2K in his pocket and 1.1 on Robert X lead. Not going to get the same thing out of a late game Corki, so these guys might want to try to push whatever lead they have in a lane.
Yeah, I mean, whoa, aggression from high here. He doesn't have that much mana though.
Right, or enough spheres on the ground here.
Yeah, he would want to get another combo on Probably to get him low enough for the ult, so not quite enough mana to pull it off. The thing is, for Complexity, when you're losing all of your lanes here in standard lanes, and you're facing Evelynn, so there's no way that you can even get vision control back to make sure it doesn't get worse, for Complexity, you kind of just have to throw caution to the wind and switch something up, because currently, it's not working. You have to change the status quo. You have to go group up somewhere. Try and make Cloud9 switch their game plan, because as of right now, it will just get worse and worse.
But soon Complexity are going to put into motion the unpredictable mode. Then you'd have no idea what's going on, and you're probably going to see a Shyvana jump on the screen.
Bottom turret, if they can get that down, it might be the thing that they need to kick Complexity into a mid-game switch here.
Right.
And actually start grouping up, maybe try and make some roam game happen.
In all honesty, this definitely needs to continue to be a domino effect for Complexity. You can see how much they're trying to freeze this lane and stop Sneaky from getting any more. They've done well so far. 115 to 84 there. Let's see if they
all right,
keep
there we go. You got it all the way in the bush this time.
Heck yeah. Good movement.
I'm surprised.
Well, they got it. They got 3 wards plus on it that time, too.
I'm actually surprised Midos has not gone for the classic top lane dive with Balls, because he's got pressure on Westrice, and Midos has his ultimate ready, so
yeah,
they could tank up that top turret, and he's got red buff, full vision of this bottom side jungle. I mean, all the stage has been set.
What were you talking about, Kobe? A gank in the top lane?
I can't hear you. I can't hear
Oh, wait, it's an Eve! It's an Eve too! Throws down the cast, gets the party in the top lane. Westrice is gonna go down. Ball trying to exit. Mega Inferno Bomb! That's not even gonna be hurtful. Meteos is able to get out alive. Great coordination by Meteos and Balls, taking down Westrice again. Kobe, it's going to be so hard for Complexity now. He's trying to build a Rod of Ages, and by 15 minutes, that's not even going to be finished.
Well, yeah, the charge-up time on that is going to be delayed a bit. We'll see, though. Complexity trying to make moves. They trying to answer the top move for some mid-aggression, but High gets back for the key minion there.
One-man army
Cannon
here.
minion still does go down for him. This 3-kill Nidalee is going to be a very strong split push threat for Cloud9. Complexity will have to use one of their APs for the wave clear to try and keep her in check. Westrice has already had trouble there, though, and we've seen how susceptible he is still to being dove under a turret.
14-minute Triforce coming in for Balls. Very, very nice. He's going to be able to start wreaking havoc in that top lane. Even more ability to split push. And nobody really has the ability to out-split push them at the power they're at on the side of Complexity. So no worries for him. And Cloud9's really getting all the map pressure and control that they want. Coming out of picks and bans, it did seem like they gave Complexity a little what for with those last few picks of Syndra and Nidalee. Definitely working out for him.
Down bottom to Sneaky's then. Trying to farm, keep back in this, even without turret.
Yeah.
Lemon's been doing his darndest to keep up the vision control, at least. They don't have a turret to fall back on, so they need that early alert system. It's been a tough battle for the bottom lane here, but Sneaky will be going for the early Infinity Edge.
Yeah. Get that. You're going to be cleaning up a lot of kills. If you think about it, when a fight happens, Meteos is going to be in there, and High will have somebody low. The resets are going to be coming right as you get that person. And if they can keep following up, Complexity is not going to have much more time.
Pink ward down. Meteos slips in.
Whoa. 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 Straight under the turret. Tries to 1v1 again. Gonna throw it on his dollar. Oh, he gets the auto attack, and it just floats along.
Well, they can no longer have Westrise hold the split push.
So this is what that new Nidalee looks like, huh?
Well,
man, he really got to taking advantage of all his options in that lane with that first kill of his own.
yeah, like we said, it is a lot about the practice and playing against the champion.
Absolutely.
So,
it's a solo man game up here.
yeah, we'll see.
Great work. Meteos giving a little bit to Balls so he can keep himself going and keep that snowball.
All right, 5 seconds on Dragon though. Complexity, they still have a teleport from Westrise. We'll see if they actually are feeling dangerous enough to go for one of those risky plays that they've been known for. They are behind, so it's kind of the point of the game where they get shoved into that point where they make a real risky call. It looks like they don't do it this time, and since they just had Bubba or wait, never mind, canceled the recall. Cloud9 are gonna slip right in. No teleport from Westrise means no.
Bam! Bang, bang, boom.
Nothing to say about it for Complexity. If Bubba does recall, just in a safer area.
It's kind of just walking around and getting the dances that they want. Complexity is not really participating in those dances just yet.
Yeah.
Kind of biding their time before they can find the waltz they really want to enter into here. Westrise going to be hitting up the top lane. I think he, again, is just going to be met and probably taken down if we see Meteos going back to the top of Balls here.
He really needs to get it to answer, but he's got to exit very quickly after he does. So they get that answer. That's pretty good for Complexity. And this is kind of the change that we've seen, talking about how Complexity have stopped making those super risky comeback plays. Oh, I get destroyed.
But you
Probably with the dunks.
You give them a little window, and they'll find those kills. Unfortunately, they don't have the wave to push mid, but that's the way Complexity causes chaos and gets himself back in millimeter by millimeter.
And this is that combo that we're talking about for Champ Select with you just sit there with your Elise and your Morgana and throw out the bindings constantly while clearing all the minions away. When one of the bindings hits, they've got the range to follow it up.
I like that. Nice job.
Balls does get side of Westrise here.
Looks like he'll be quite safe. He already has Lemon Nation on that bottom side to help him out. He is being a menace right now. Everything on the top side of the map has been his. He owns this, and nobody can say different. 180, farming out pretty much more than the mid lane right now. If he can keep it going, and it looks like he is going to. Taking 2 turrets by himself, 2 solo kills in that lane. And he is really helping turn the tide of this game and the results we've seen in the history of these 2 teams.
Very critical Black Shield there.
Why does High always seem to get himself in a sticky situation right here? Oh my gosh, could they turn this one around? Kaz gets hit with a rocket in the bottom lane. That means it's going to be Sneaky getting excited. We should see him in just a few seconds. It's going to be Ball still chasing. He's the one in the front line. He's trying to get the Cougar damage down, and it's going to be Westrise with the Black Shield. Probably answers to try and stop the engage, and he does find it's going to be Lemon Nation's death on the backside of that. Now the return possibly coming in for Complexity.
2
Probably
for
tries
2.
to throw out the bombs.
2 for 2 is pretty good.
Back, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good as far as Complexity are concerned. And take a look, Complexity had been warding up their jungle very effectively. And was trying to clear out Cloud9 vision. You see their defensive pink wards still sitting there. Cloud9, though, have not given up on these invades. They return over and over and over. Even if you clear out their vision for a second, they put it right back up. So High, early target here. And Robert, this is one of the comeback plays. He's trying to convert for the team. But Lemon Nation and High at the same time with the burst damage onto Robert. Take him out. And Sneaky with the snipe from downtown. Good answer there. Right now, you're chasing through Ziggs. This is one of the hardest things to do in League.
Might as well put Teemo Mushrooms there.
Yeah, And the answer there, beautiful shot by Trolley, not tunneling on the chasing Nidalee right there, but looking to the back line to answer. And that's what that deep vision in their own jungle here for Complexity is doing for them. I mean, they're not able to clear out all this Cloud9 vision because they keep on replenishing all the wards, but at least Complexity are able to put up their own.
Really just an amazing job going from Cloud9 right now. Surgically moving and executing around the map. Now Balls is going to take control of the bottom lane while the rest of the team feels comfortable. They're going to be taking down mid. 21 minutes in, just a 4K gold lead. A Dragon in a good fight could really close that gap. So anybody's game. This is versus Complexity.
You can tell what kind of game Complexity want to play and have to play right now from the boots of Corki. Robert Exley, when you want to go for those skirmishes, that you want the auto attack increase of Berserker Greaves, but when you're being mostly poked, as Robert's going to be right now, it's all about the missiles and the phosphorus bomb. So going with the spell penetration boots, Balls with the juke.
That's crazy. You could see as soon as he was like, I'm a little too far. Wait a minute, I don't see enough. They do have good wards though to keep him helpful, or to keep him safe. Keep his knowledge privy. 8-4, and that's 4-2 in turrets as they start to deny that lane vision from Complexity. That means Balls can get into these situations. You're not gonna. So dangerous, just playing right in the face of Complexity the entire time. But this chaos, Complexity's always trying to answer this, and Cloud9's moving free.
This is the oldest Nidalee style in the book, pioneered by Hotshot, the long-standing super split push Nidalee. Just draw as many people over to you as you can, and then outplay them, and just walk around, use the increased mobility that Nidalee has to try and waste time of multiple opponents.
That was nice. That was an art.
And during that, the rest of Cloud9 capitalize on this, and they can get objectives other areas on the map. So the new Nidalee is kind of throwback to the super old style of play. They've
trying to be
buffed
a menace.
up, yeah, they've buffed up her skirmishing and her split pushing of prowess.
Well, if you get it going this long, then that means she's also going to have 1v1 fight prowess as well. 4-0-0, 216 coming up in 22 minutes in the game. Two members, really, of Cloud9 almost staying on perfect clip of CS here within the game. Probably doing a great job of keeping himself just ahead, and really a member that can keep this team in carry mode. If he can lock down just a little bit more map pressure, they need to drop this mid turret so they can start getting some more deep wards down. It's too dangerous for them to move in. You can see everything is defensive. Even their pink wards are almost next to their base to stay safe here.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if we do look at those 80 carries, oh, did he steal it? He got it with this combo there. Good snipe from high. The gold here for Sneaky, he's got a large chunk in his bag, 1,400 here. He'll be able to complete that Phantom Dancer, get the combo when he returns to base. And you know, Corki's big shining moment may almost be over already. Whoa! C9 going with the dive!
This is really good. The turret's getting taken down right now by Sneaky, and the rest of the team is focusing on a very nice fight. The Mega Inferno Bomb comes back, but they're going to be able to take down Robert Exley from the side. Really? What an interesting little fight. Westrice is now going to be able to execute back onto this execution, or initiation, I should say. The rest of the team trying to push down in the bottom lane. Cloud9 will always try to take a mile if they gain an inch. And it looks like they feel like they lost a little bit on that one, so they want even more.
Yeah, he should be able to get away from this one, though.
Yep.
Let's see what they can do. Yeah, that deep kill onto Robert was surprising. I got him really low with the ulti. Let's take another look at it. So he gets out of the Morgana area. Medios goes in for the dive. Yeah, there's everything.
Oh, the ults.
It's half, though, so he... Yeah, it was Balls!
Oh! Really?
Making those long-range Nid spears look good, even though he's got zero... Well, he's got a little AP, Trinity Force.
Wow, 5-0-0. Flawless Nidalee play coming in so far from the top laner at Cloud9. You know his name. 9-4 on the scoreboard, 44 to 37,000 here. 6-3 in turrets. It's only a matter of time before Cloud9 just puts the stranglehold on Complexity and running the base with Baron or without Baron.
Yeah, all they have to do is rely on the split pushing Nidalee, keep
Right.
him down in the furthest lane away from Baron. Just keep him there all day long because you can't catch him. You can't kill him with anything less than 3 or 4 people. And if you send that many people, Cloud9 will get the Baron. If you don't, then this Jinx will slowly whittle down your turrets. All that Cloud9 really need to do is control the vision a little bit better. See if they get a couple more pink wards up. They've got 2 in inventory right now. A couple pink wards and sweepers would do the trick here around Baron. The saving grace for Complexity could be a Ziggs plus Gragas combo to steal away from a long range the Baron, though. There is that threat. However, if you want to pull that move off, then who's going to be defending this Nidalee? Because those are your 2 main sources of wave clear as well.
And Westrice has been really forced to just build up the HP so Balls does not just cut through his health. Still trying to force him off of that bottom inhibitor turret. Cloud9 is now able to spread Complexity thin towards the top side of the map. And everything's about Complexity trying to stay as a group with that AoE damage, the Soul Shackle, then the rockets to come in and finish off people. They're a little low. Good control.
Fight over.
Yep.
Push control here. Cloud9 trying to set up for the Baron bait. Whoa!
Gosh.
Yeah, you can't leave one person alone over there with Nidalee.
Not at 5-0, 270 CS, 26 minutes into the game.
Actually, Balls might get that turret by himself right now. It's only got a few hundred HP left. Oh! Can he get out alive, though? Blade of the Ruined King active. Yes, he can.
Oh my gosh, showing his fans why they should have an undying love for Balls. 9-4, 27 minutes in. Glitter lands, not of use, but keeps Bubba Dub at bay.
Ooh, Restrice trying to stop the recall here for Nidalee. Does at least delay it a little bit, but really what play could Complexity make after that? Pretty much nothing.
The Wraiths, Toby.
Well, they've got
Wraiths.
vision control back of their red side jungle, which is a small victory, but it's only that, a very small victory for them. Next up on the plate for Nidalee here will be that inhibitor turret, the actual inhibitor, which will be much easier for Balls to take on.
It's like a one-man army
Now that there's no
this
turret.
game.
The rest of Cloud9 are doing their job, though. All they had to do was sit around Baron, fight the vision control battle around Baron. They didn't even have to start it up one time to try and bait. As long as they can draw out 4 members of Complexity.
Very scared of the play right now coming out of Nidalee. And Ball's showing us the play he used to put
He's not even on screen.
on Cloud9.
Gosh.
He used to bring this out of his Rumble. He used to bring this out of Rise that he wouldn't get CS on in the early game. He is really playing well, and he's actually played so well this game that he's given Cloud9 the opportunity to make mistakes and still be on top. That's how well that one player has been doing. 5-0-0 as we've been saying. 7-4. They only have 4 more turrets on the map that stand on the side of Complexity. And right now it looks like it's going to be champions in the eyes of Cloud9.
And the thing is, for Complexity, not only are they down in gold, but even if they find an opportunity, they don't have a reliable way to force a fight with Cloud9. If they have a numbers advantage, if they catch somebody out of position, it's all reliant on skill shots.
The chant coming in from what has just been made
done.
more of the home turf for Cloud9 here at the LCS studio for the last game of the day before Challenger. That's the inhibitor going down. Cloud9 finally break the base. Are they going to break the Complexity curse? They have yet to beat Complexity in this summer split. 3rd time's a charm here. They get the first inhibitor. Will they be able to end the game soon?
Well, the dragon is up, so they'll probably just look to clean up the map a little bit here. And then return to the vision game, because now that the inhibitor is down, they can easily bait that Baron for Complexity. And while we mentioned so much pick potential for Complexity with the skill shots, Cloud9 have Syndra. So Syndra from Fog of War can easily pick somebody off herself.
Oh, doing what he can. Balls jumps out of the fight. High goes on to Prowley. Puts him down to half HP. Not all the damage he really would have wanted. Not enough combos on the field. Look at the shield for Meteos right now. Throws down his Agnes Embrace along with the Lulu pick. And he's going to the Robert X Lee. Valkyrie's out of the fight. Balls almost goes down, but so does Robert in the Do-Si-Do. They leave each other with no mana or HP.
All this time that they're fighting mid, though, the super minion lane down bottom is building up. So that will eventually cause someone from Complexity to return to base. And Cloud9 will happily take these even fights that just use up Complexity's time. Complexity won't be able to get anything done because of the bottom lane. Robert has to recall now, and it's Cloud9's time to get that vision control around Baron right back.
Oh, he snuck by.
He runs right past him.
Snuck by. Look out! Look out! Oh my gosh!
Nexus turret.
What an attack! Woo!
Valiant effort.
Seriously.
Super minion #1.
That guy needs a raise.
Super minion #2 did not follow his brother.
Sometimes you just got to go in on a bad call, whether it's like a good or bad. Everybody going in on the bad call is better than half on a good.
Super minion #1 shot. Team, please! I'm on the Nexus turrets. Objective focus. Cloud9 now doing that work for the vision. We'll see if they can actually make something happen. They're using such a large amount of time here. They might just send balls back to the bottom lane. Nope.
Surrounded by a sphere. Uh-oh. Keeps the Banshees. Plays it smart. Agony's Embrace almost coming back up for Meteos. Summoners down the line except for Ignite for High, and there's quite a few.
Remember, this is... Oh, High gets caught!
That's not looking good right now.
He needs to get his ult off at least before dying.
Blue flash in a situation where he knows he's dead. Tries to pull a little bit of time in for the team. Falls deterred from this fight. Looks like the disengage is there from Cloud9. 40 seconds in for High, and it looks like this is going to be just the Baron dance that won't eventually happen, but they're going to have to get around it to find each other again.
Pretty big play there for Complexity. Catching High, sectioned off from the rest of the team. Not enough vision control for Cloud9. This Complexity, they've been fighting so hard over vision of this red side jungle. Complexity have just fought tooth and nail to keep their vision. And it finally paid it off right there. They were able to catch High in an attempt to swing down. Complexity, you've got to give them at least something there for their valiant ward fight that they've been fighting this entire game.
That was very, very interesting. Westrice was moving away to help the team. He got pinged back. A teleport here from Balls would be detrimental on the base. So he needs to stay in the base because you can still get that teleport in for the back door. Westrice forced to not provide now his utility for the fight, and Cloud9 can start to work with this.
Yeah, the thing is, I think
his teleport's down too.
I think that Cloud9 should just call to send balls back to the bottom lane. Just keep him at the bottom lane with, even if he already has super minions.
Right.
He can force pressure on Nexus turrets with super minions easily versus Westrice and still draw members of Cloud9. There's no reason really ever for Cloud9 to call balls out of the bottom lane. He could just stay there forever. Because we've seen him escape so many times, even if Complexity try and collapse. As long as 4 members of Cloud9 sit on Baron and they keep Nidalee bottom, Complexity have to come up with a miracle. And it's very hard to come up with a miracle when you don't have your teleport.
Yeah, Balls has had his juke shoes on the whole game. And even going Distortion, Westrice has been forced to go home guard. So Balls can continue to create these types of opportunities. Westrice down to half HP. He's working a Warmogs in a fully stacked
Robert comes to the
2v1 situation. How's this going to end? I don't think Balls has enough to get himself out alive. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. He's Balls.
What can Cloud9 do, though? They drew away the strongest member. No Corki for Complexity, and Complexity still stopped the Baron. So that was a pretty big win for Complexity, taking the flash away from Balls, who does not give up on his mission.
All right, this is going to be big. If he can do this and get out, I don't even, just stop. Just stop. Not going to get hit by the next barrel. If he fast body slams, that's, oh, he gets it. It's the hit, the slow. He doesn't have the primal heal. He's surging. Yes, he's going to be all right. The next barrel is going to be able to hit Balls. Slows him down. Body slam. He gets the kill. Finally takes down Balls. Gets the shutdown. But such a chase. So much priority put on just that chase.
Man. All right, Westrice finally gets his man there, and he takes down Nidalee. The rest of Complexity as well have been doing such a good job in this vision war. They finally get caught out. Let's see if Cloud9 can capitalize.
We'll see what happens with balls dropped here.
Yet.
Can Cloud9 win the fight?
Whoa,
Pet
got
goes
one.
down. They still have the upper hand. Like I said, Balls had created such an advantage. They have the chance to make mistakes and still come out on top of the fight. The struggle, trying to kill High, but he can't get it done. West Rice approaches the fight, but he's also trying to slip right out as fast as he got in. 17 seconds on the Dragon, but eyes are on the victory right now. The W for Cloud9 could be coming quite soon. That is the kill going on to Bubba. Probably's almost out of mana and HP, but he's still standing strong at the turret. West Rice comes back to help as well. Where's he going? Oh man.
To the Baron.
Let's do it.
So Cloud9 are finally able to capitalize on the fight around Baron over Vision.
Let's see this again.
Yeah, so they get I think it's oh yeah, they get the Lulu knockup to keep him here in place. And High, by the way, is screening off the rest of the members of Complexity. Kez gets finished. Watch how High ignores West Rice. This is what you do with the very tanky Gragas who don't build full AP. He just looks straight ahead to Robber and gets the key stun for Meteos to capitalize. High playing so aggressive with such low HP here on Syndra. He ignores Bubba, the lower priority, to zone out Ziggs. Once Ziggs is zoned out, then they can turn their focus and clean up another kill. And that did give them Baron.
It looks clean, Kobe. We heard it in communication. It's only High in these fights. It's only him talking, communicating to the team, letting them know that was going to happen.
And this is why I really don't like the super tanky Gragas builds, because in the late game it falls off so hard, the team could literally just ignore you, as we just saw High do.
Right.
And there's not much of an effect from that super tanky Gragas. The AD carry would have to be shooting him for him to actually have a big effect on the fight. And I was able to get the key stun straight through him. Syndra, a pretty good pickup into that matchup.
Cloud9
stun will go right through.
Looking very powerful.
Giant melee.
Now able to consider the rest of the damage they're taking. Maw of Malmortius built up over on Meteos, so he can stick into these fights with all the AP that Complexity's bringing to the table. They're all down now on Complexity's side. 12,000 gold, and it's across the entire team. Nobody's really able to make an impact. Nobody had a superb game in the lanes. The Chaos Balls was able to create in the top lane, shut down pretty much the entire map. And you can see him now in a 2v1 situation, hardly even giving a care in the world to Complexity's defense.
Meanwhile, Super Minions inside the base. Meteos flanks around the inhibitor turret.
He's in a 3v1. They don't even get his Banshee's Veil. He gets in and out so fast and shocks them. Guardian Angel onto Balls. He's safe after the binding. They're going to be going on to the inhibitor now. He gets cocooned. They don't even want that initiation. That's 3 or 4 times they've consecutively stopped him. Nothing happens after. He's just too big. The rest of Cloud9 standing tall inside Complexity's base.
So Cloud9, they avoid the early game mistakes, and they play a much safer and more coordinated game this time around against Complexity. Looks like they're gonna get it too.
High could be going down here. Very tricky trade. He still lives it out somehow. What a play coming in from Lemon Nation's security shield there. They're going on to Bubba. It looks like they're going on the Nexus. Robert was forced out of his own house on this one. And Cloud9's looking at the Nexus. They do not lose to Complexity a 3rd time in a row. They're able to stop that. And it is going to be the Rocket that takes down Robert at the end of the game. And Cloud9 take down Complexity at 38 minutes, 40 seconds.
What a shot to end it there. Sneaky with the Rocket. But man,
great shot.
Cloud9.
That guy, right there.
They've talked about it a lot, how they really wanted to focus on unforced errors. They have been making a lot of unforced errors in their games against Complexity. And that was the main thing they wanted to avoid. Concentrate on the basics. And they went very basic this game. Get a very strong split pushing top laner. Had a great early game, early start, and just play it out by the numbers.
There's the man himself. Smallest member, biggest impact. Balls. Made it happen this game on
let
Italy.
me assure you, he's very well aware of the chance all game long too.
Definitely playing for and to the crowd this time. All of Cloud9 wanting to give back to their fans. It's been a rough road compared to the 2-time champs' previous splits of what Cloud9 was able to produce. It's no 25-3 coming out at the end of the split, and it's a struggle this time. they've seen just what every other team has seen this year in terms of miscommunication and a little bit of team trouble coming through the early part of the season with High being out for a bit. That caused a lot of kind of breakage for them. But in the past few games, we see them kind of putting balls back on the players where he can control the game, ways that he can pretty much win his lane, and he did just that.
Yeah, he definitely prefers being able to deal damage rather than that tanky meta that was around for so long.
Just kind of be in the top lane.
And then the lane swap as well. Wasn't really a fan of that. Didn't get his 1v1 matchup.
Yeah.
Now he feels much more at home.
All right, well, the crowd has spoken, and we're going to give them what they want. Let's throw it down to Dash, who's on Rift's side with balls.
Thank you, Riv and Kobe. As you can see, I'm here with balls, the crowd favorite. My first question to you is, how does that feel to have all that backing and support of your fans?
That's awesome. Oh my God.
All right, there it is. All right, now into some serious business. That's you guys' first win against Complexity this split. So how does that feel to finally best a team that's been giving you trouble this whole split?
Feels great. I mean, we finally beat them, we're improving, and we're just getting better every week now.
All right, now a little bit of a follow-up there. Historically, you guys have always been at the top, right? You were first in Summer Split, first in Spring Split. Now you guys are sitting in third and fourth place. How does that change your approach going to the final games of the season now that you're looking at, vying for position going for the playoffs?
I mean, we're not first place anymore, so we don't have a target on our backs. People won't expect us to do that great anymore, but we can all just keep practicing and just study the Korean, study everything, and just get them in the back.
So to that end, not being in first, in other words, having lost more games than you normally do, people say that you learn more from losing than you do from winning. Is there anything specifically that you've learned this split as a product of those losses that you wouldn't have learned in previous splits?
Well, compared to last split, this split is more all about rotations, and the early split of this season, it was all about 1v2, me going to the jungle and farming with Meteos. But now it's all about adapting too, because towards the end of this split, the meta changed, and now it's back to 1v1s and a lot. And I get to practice my 1v1s a lot again. And if I can win my lane a lot, then it could help my team win even more. And also just not dying level 1 like last time, that would help. But other than that, everything's great.
And adapt you have. We have a little bit of a statistic in the first 6 weeks of the split. You played only 3 unique champions, Shyvana, Renekton, and Trundle. Now in the last 2 weeks, and then including today, you've played 5 unique champions. Ryze, Gragas, Nidalee, COL, Lulu, things like that. So what has been the impetus for picking up such a diverse champion pool, and how does it feel to finally be back on some more carry-style champions and 1v1 champions?
I actually used to play a lot of AP tops back in the day in Cloud9. But then the meta switched to a lot of tanky champions. And I've been playing top lane for a while, and I was used to Renekton and Trundle Shyvana already, so I just pick up those champions and play them. I love farming, so I don't even care if no one ganks my lane, I'll just take all the CS. But since they went back to AP top, I'm fine with the carry role too, because I like killing a lot of stuff if I can. And it's just adapting, and it's fun.
All right, for sure. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. We're going to send it back up to Riv and Kobe to close out the day.
Thank you, Dashington the Fourth. Let's check out how the table is set after another day of league action. In first, it's LMQ. Yeah, just LMQ.
Then CLG drops into second, and in third, it is Cloud9 and TSM, and Dignitas holds 5th place.
And in the bottom half, we've got Curse in 6th, followed by Complexity and Evil Geniuses. And we will be back tomorrow with 4 more games, starting with Evil Geniuses taking on Dignitas.
Followed by Complexity versus TSM. After that, LMQ will face off against CLG. Then we'll conclude our LCS coverage with Team Curse versus Cloud9.
But keep it tuned right here for a best-of-3 semifinal between Lowpro and Cognitive Gaming in the North American Challenger Series. And we've got Freak and Zyrene waiting in the wings for tonight's North American Challenger Series quarterfinals. But first, let's take a quick look at a few of today's LCS highlights.
I mean, I'm ready for it. I don't think the people are ready for it. Some dips.
Specials now caught up in the Soul Shackle. Boy is able to take down Kiwi Kid, but the AD and the AP are still on the move. Cutie Pie tries to fire back. Kathy in surprise comes out.
Happy birthday, dear Peter.
CLG now sets up the lines. Both teams staring to the white of each other's eyes. Aframu goes down. No way. EG dances it out.
I got so much life flying through my veins.
Nicely done by No Name to steal it back. Wait, the rest of LMQ is kind of filtered in on the backside, and they didn't realize TSM was ready for a fight.
What time is it? It's League of Legends time.
I could be going down here. Very tricky trade. He still lives it out somehow. What a play coming in from Lemon Nation's security shield there.
Hey, what does the Kool-Aid man say when he busts through a door?
Oh, yeah.